Hi everyone.
Hello. So now is the time that we analyze the second campaign. The first campaign we really enjoyed analyzing it, but we also learned from it. We thought that how can we make it easier for you people? How can we make it faster? So we've been able to come up with new ways of analyzing it. We'll be sharing it in due course. But firstly, obviously, the second campaign was seeing whether a broad audience works better versus a more targeted, narrow audience in your campaigns. And we'll talk about what works better, of course, later on. Don't want to get into that right in the beginning. But
No spoilers.
yeah, don't want to spoil that. The objective of the campaign was obviously driving people to our YouTube video, which was about the advertising course, how we are doing this, building in public, sharing everything, setting up campaigns, experience and everything. So that's why we wanted to send people to that YouTube video. Now once the campaign got completed, it ran for 3 days, and after it got completed, Facebook obviously gives you a lot of metrics that you can analyze from, but we wanted to shortlist down to 4 most important metrics because for simplicity and for convenience, and also otherwise it just makes it way too much complex, which is unnecessary. So the most important one, most critical metric is obviously results. How many people were able to get to the YouTube video and how many and they saw it, right? Other important metrics, the other 3 important metrics are reach, obviously how many people saw your ad, especially because if you'll be comparing the 2 ads, one of which is targeting the broad audience and the other one is targeting the narrow audience. Then obviously there's cost per result, how much it costs for one person to go and see your YouTube video. That tells you how expensive or cheap your ad performance was. And lastly, of course, click-through rate. Now, in this campaign, for some reason, we did not get click-through rate, but like we told you in the last video, click-through rate is simply results divided by impressions. So we had results, we had impressions, we were able to calculate a click-through rate. And why again click-through rate is important is because it tells you the quality of your ad in general. So by quality of your ad, I mean 2 things. Firstly, obviously, what is your offering, what is the product you're offering, and what kind of ad you've created. So if that is good, and secondly your targeting. So if your targeting is good, so if both of these things are hitting well on the target, then your click-through rate will be higher. So the higher your click-through rate is, the better your campaign is doing generally, right? So that is why this was another important metric.
So taking these 4 metrics, we combined them into one composite metric that made it very objective to compare between the broad and the narrow
Or
ads.
any category.
And similarly within the age groups and across genders, for example. So the composite metric that we used is actually one of our trade secrets. It's one of our little secret sauces that we have, and it's basically a weighted average score that takes into account 4 different metrics and kind of combines them into one. And what it really does is it makes it a lot easier to compare across different categories as looking at 4 different metrics. Because what happens is usually like maybe one or 2 categories is performing better on, let's say, reach, but the other category is performing better on results, and you kind of try to figure out, hey, so which one should I be using more? And what the composite metric does is it gives you that definitive answer, that objective answer that, hey, this is the audience that you should focus on, and this can be maybe a secondary audience for your campaign.
So just a single number to solve all your problems.
Just a single number to solve all your problems, absolutely. So in this case, we ranked the 4 metrics that Sambhav mentioned as results was the most important one for us. The second most important was the click-through rate, followed by the cost per result, and finally the reach. So the reason for this ordering was that results was obviously the most important metric for us. It is why we kind of ran the campaign, and we actually got some really good results, so we're pretty happy with that. The click-through rate really helped tell us how good the audience was that we were targeting and how relevant our ad was for them, and therefore it was the second most important metric in our case. For this campaign, cost was not really a limiting factor, and therefore it kind of ranked a little lower than the other 2, although we actually got really good results there as well. And finally, given that our results and our click-through rate and our CPR performed so well, reach kind of seemed like the 4th most important in comparison. So for those reasons, we kept the ranking as 1, 2, 3, and 4.
So for our internal composite score, as you can see, probably see that the higher the number is, the better the ad did. So across all the 4 metrics, you saw that broad audience did better. So that's why the score is higher. It's 2. Just all you need to remember is the higher the number, better it is. Yeah.
So do check out the composite score video linked above. and it'll really help you in your own campaigns when you're trying to figure out which metrics make sense and also which ad kind of performs better for your campaign.
Alright, so this is one of my favorite spots. Let's get down to the numbers and see the analysis.
So who actually did better somehow? The broad audience or the narrow audience?
I think conventional thought says that narrow audience would do better,
That was my thinking as well.
but it did not. It did not. Broad audience was much better, and what we targeted when we created the campaign, broad audience was around 15 million expected audience in that segment, and narrow audience was around 700,000. So there was a 1:20 ratio. It's not too high, but it's good enough. And but conventional thought is that narrow audience, because it's more targeted, does better. But in this case, as you can see in the composite score, broad audience was 2 times better, at least 2 times better, as you can see, 2.05 compared to the narrow audience composite score. I think what this means is that you should give Facebook some flexibility to optimize your ad campaign according to your audience. So the broader your audience is, easier it is for Facebook to showcase your ad to the right people. When you're limiting your audience by putting more interest and by targeting even fewer people on the basis of your knowledge of your brand, of your audience, then that reduces the room for Facebook. So Facebook cannot do its magic over there. The Facebook algorithm, which is so famous across industry, that does not work as well, right? But I think also initially, if you've just launched your brand or if your advertising goal is very new, then probably you are not completely aware of who your audience is. So that's why it's also important to set a broader audience in the beginning. And as and when you get completely sure that this is who your audience is, then I think it still makes sense to go for narrow.
You can always experiment.
You can also experiment. And maybe that's why they say that you should go for a more targeted audience approach. But I think you have to be really sure before you go for that.
For sure, to start with broad and then figure out if there is a better narrow.
Right. So yeah, that's, as you can see, I think it's good enough to talk about the composite score. You can see across all the 4 metrics, the broader audience ad has done much better. So that's why also the composite score is twice. That means the ad did 2 times more better. It reflects that. Yes. Right.
So across all the metrics, we kind of found that the broad audience kind of performed twice as well as the narrow audience, and I think the composite score it kind of reflects it.
So before we get down to the analysis between different age groups, you will see that the age ranges are very different. The middle 2 ranges obviously are same 25 to 34 and 35 to 44 10-year range, but because of the age that we selected, the first and the last range are different. In the first one, we just selected people from 22 to 24. In the last, we selected people from 45 to 50. That is a conscious decision we made, and why we chose that. Of course, we've shared that in while we talk
kind
about
of results of what happened in campaign 1 affected.
Right. So yeah, that is how it improved. It taught us to go for this age range. We've already talked about it in detail while we were setting up this second campaign, so you can go there and check that out. But yeah, because of the age range difference, we have adjusted the composite score number, because in the first range, obviously only 3 years are included. In the last range, only 6 years are included. Whereas in the middle 2 ranges, 10 years are included. So we have taken the effect of that. We just wanted to tell this.
And that's why if you look at it, despite the youngest age group performing worst across all of it, it doesn't have a composite score of 1, which is what you normally expect, but 2.4, which kind of represents the change in weighting that we did factor it in. So looking at the results by age groups for the broad and narrow audience, we find that the 18 to, or rather the 22 to 24 age group still performed the worst for both ads. And this is kind of consistent from campaign 1, where we did find that they were kind of the worst performing age group, and it kind of also justifies our decision to narrow that age group down further from 18 to 22. Right? What was also interesting is that for the broad age groups, like it performed about 3 times worse than the best performing age group, whereas for the narrow audience it performed 10 times worse. So it does show that there is, in the narrow audience, when there's just fewer people, like it chose to target people in the 25 to 34 and 35 to 44 age range. So what that does show is that for a limited audience, it seems like the difference becomes more acute and it becomes like more pronounced. And I think that's kind of what we saw in the narrow versus the broad case. So in the narrow ad range, we find quite an interesting result. So we see that the 35 plus category actually is a lot cheaper to reach. But in the composite score, the 25 to 34 category still comes out on top. and that kind of shows that like despite this the 35 plus category being cheaper, there's just also fewer people there. So when you actually wanting to target a certain age group, it still makes sense to target the 25 to 34 as well as the 35 plus age groups.
I think again justifies why we included reach in this calculation.
Absolutely.
Metric.
And I think even more than that, it justifies using the composite score as a really good indicator for your analysis to figure out whether you should or should not be targeting a certain group.
So again, coming to the last part of the video, the comparison between the two genders. Again, it was really interesting. Even this time, more men were reached than women. But this time, it was cheaper to reach women.
Absolutely.
And by a lot. And I think that is because we reached a lot of women in the 35 plus age. And I would assume that it's cheaper to reach women in the 35 plus age, and women in the 25 to 34 age range are more expensive to reach because
At
a lot
least that's what the data tells us.
yeah, that's what the data tells us, and it could be because a lot of brands are targeting them.
Absolutely.
Also, the reach for women is lower because there are fewer women on social media in India. So that is why there's this huge gap between men and women with respect to reach and results.
But I think despite that, it still makes a lot of sense to actually target women. The conversion, the CTR was a lot better, and the cost per result was actually
Lower, yeah.
lower as well. So they are quite a good quality audience. It's just there's just not quite as many of them as the only problem. So in conclusion, we find that the broad audience did perform better than the narrow audience. And there could be multiple reasons for this, but in general, I think what our main takeaway was that like you shouldn't always follow conventional wisdom.
Yeah.
You should run experiments to check if they hold for your product or brand, and I think it really validates why we actually started this course, because it's stuff like this that you would read and accept, but when you actually run it practically, you find that it might not actually be true.
So that's why I would just say one thing: ads are all about experiments.
Ads are all
Run experiments for your brand, for your whatever your advertising goal is, and nothing will teach you like those experiments will. Even we can't teach you the way those experiments will.
Absolutely.
Who run experiments.
And finally, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And do tell us what you want to see next, or any other cool comments. So would be appreciated.
Right, next more campaigns are coming up. This time for different industries. It will be very interesting. Just wait for it. And yeah, all the best.
Bye.
Bye.